left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, all the way to the front door. The front door slammed. I counted to 100 in my head and opened the closet. I sat Javier down and said, "Stay. Don't move or open your eyes until you hear my voice, okay?" He nodded his head. Then he reached into his pajama pocket, pulled out his Zorro action figure, and detached one of the plastic katanas. The blade was barely the length of my pinky finger. He held it out to me with both hands, like he was presenting a real weapon. "Take this," he whispered, "to protect yourself." I looked at my brother, and something inside me cracked, but I didn't let it show. I smiled. I closed my hand around the tiny sword and said, "Thank you. I'll be right back." He nodded again. I palmed the plastic sword and walked to the kitchen alone, tiptoeing the whole way, terrified of making a sound. Every step felt like walking toward my own doom. I made it to the kitchen entryway. The window above the sink was open. Two birds sat on the windowsill. Their chirping caught my attention, their heads tilted, watching everything with their small black eyes. I almost smiled. Then I looked down at the kitchen floor and my face paled. My knees buckled, but I grabbed the counter to keep from falling. My mother lay unconscious at my feet. Her gray eyes were now red and white. Instead of looking at her any longer, I reached over to the counter where my mother's phone was, and I called 911. "Hello? A man just did something very bad to my mommy. He left red footprints out the door. No, she's not moving or breathing." I stared at my mother with curious horror as I gave the operator my address. I didn't cry until after I hung up. I ended up in a courtroom 8 months later. I was so small in the witness chair, but I spoke into the microphone with all my confidence. That man sitting over there was the one who hurt my mommy. I watched from the closet as he talked about her owing him money for a bet on a horse. I sat in the front row as the judge banged the gavel and declared, "Sloan Merrick is found guilty." That was the first time I'd heard his name. They put him in handcuffs and started walking him out. However, he quickly shoved his way through his armed guards, sending them stumbling back. He bolted straight towards me. I refused to flinch as he reached forward. My fingernails dug so deep into the wooden armrest, I felt the grain split under them. He laughed and his spit hit my face. "I'll find you. I don't care how long it takes. I'll make you pay for locking me up." The courtroom erupted. Multiple men in security uniforms rushed forward and grabbed him. The bailiff shoved him forward. I held eye contact as they dragged him out, all the way until the door closed behind him. Someone patted me on the shoulder and said, "Don't worry, he can't hurt you anymore." I stood there, knowing that somehow that wasn't true. 15 years later, I was jogging around my neighborhood with my boyfriend Daniel beside me and my phone pressed to my ear. Javier was on the other end saying, "My professor gave me the most annoying assignment. I have to write about my most serious trauma." I froze mid-stride. Daniel slowed to a stop beside me, giving me a worried look. "Write about something else." Something clanged in the background on his end. Javier laughed. "Sorry, I knocked over one of my practice swords. Hey, maybe I'll write about the time I impaled my hand in a sword fight when we were 12. I stood up straighter, and Daniel had to take a step back not to get hit. Perfect. Very dramatic. I gotta go. Love you, loser. Love you too. I hung up as we reached my mailbox. My fingers touched a plain envelope sitting at the bottom. No postmark. I tore.
Bye. Bye. Have a good day, sweetie. Have a good mom. Have a good day,
Want
Mom.
whiter teeth fast but worried about the damage? Reset your smile with Oral-B Clinical Intensive Whitening in just one day. Its unique technology gently lifts away stains instead of scrubbing them and prevents new ones. So you can get whiter teeth and stronger enamel in just one day.
Not the bullies. I don't like the bullies.
The envelope open. Inside was a white paper with 2 mysterious red stains and a single handwritten line. I kept my promise. "I'll see you soon, Kylie." My knees hit the grass and I couldn't breathe. Daniel crouched beside me, his hand on my back. Hey, breathe. Talk to me. What does it say?" I handed it to him. He read it, and his expression darkened. "Who wrote this?" I shook my head. He pulled me closer. "Kylie, who is this from?" I looked up at him, crying. "The man who killed my mother." Daniel went quiet. Then he said, "You need to call your brother back, right now." I called Javier, and as soon as he answered, I said, "I just got a letter. It says, I kept my promise." Javier went quiet, then said, "Yeah, I got a letter too." I dug my nails into my knee. "What did yours say?" He paused. "She screamed your name as she bled out." Daniel was reading my face the entire time. I pressed the phone closer against my ear. Javier tried to keep his voice light. "But it's a joke, right? Some prank?" "Yeah, totally a joke. Do me a favor and leave the letter in your mailbox. I might come get it later. Why? Because I'm your sister. That's why. Do it, loser. Love you. Love you too. I hung up. Daniel took my hands. What did Javier's letter say? I told him. His jaw tightened. This person knows details about what happened to your mother. Details that aren't public, right? I stared at him. I hadn't even processed that yet. Terror filled his voice as he grabbed both my arms. He's so close, Kylie. Whoever sent these is close to both you and your brother. The next morning, Daniel drove me to the police station. I brought both letters in a folder, along with the court transcripts and the recorded threat from years ago. I walked into the precinct and asked to speak to a detective, then waited for over an hour before a man wearing an old brown suit came out. He led us to his desk. Hi, I'm Detective Guster. I've reviewed your mother's case file. How unfortunate the charges were overturned, miss. My jaw dropped. What do you mean? Detective Guster spoke slowly. Sloan was released about 8 months ago over a technicality. It appears no one got through to you. I couldn't speak. Daniel leaned forward. She was 7 years old when she testified, and no one told her that her mother's murderer was walking free? Detective Guster looked uncomfortable. We apologize for the oversight. I slid the letters across his desk. He read them carefully, then gave me a sympathetic look. There's no direct threat of violence here. Nothing tying these to a specific individual. I'd recommend filing for a restraining order, but without knowing his current address. Daniel put his hand on my shoulder and said, Detective, I understand. We'll document everything going forward. I looked at Daniel. He gave me a small, trust me, let's go, nod. Detective Guster handed me his card. Call if anything escalates. The moment we got in the car, Daniel hit the steering wheel. He's been out for 8 months. 8 months, and nobody told you. He turned to face me. You shouldn't be sleeping alone. Do you want to invite Javier over? I shook my head. No, I don't want him to be more involved than he already is. Can you stay with me? Daniel smiled and nodded. We have to make a stop first. We walked into my home a few hours later with security cameras and new deadbolts. Daniel held the bags up, smiling. Hopefully this brings you peace of mind. Let's get them set up. I headed to my bedroom, then slid a knife I bought under my pillow while Daniel watched from the doorway. He just pulled the blackout curtains shut and gave me a reassuring smile. 4 days later, I went to work, hoping for a semblance of normalcy. However, as soon as I walked into my office, I saw a letter on the floor. It must have been slipped underneath. I picked it up and read, You wore a blue blouse and off-white silk pants yesterday. You looked beautiful. Tonight, I'll be paying you a visit in person. My hands went numb. He knew where I worked. He'd been watching me. I called Detective Guster first. He finally answered after the third call. After explaining the note, he only said, The best you can do is document everything. Then he hung up. I FaceTimed Daniel next. His voice sounded panicked. This grown man is watching you. He knows where you work, and now he's telling you he's coming tonight? Yes, I'm coming to get you. Right now. When we got to my apartment, Daniel walked me to the front door and stopped. He crouched down and ran his finger along the lock plate. There's a scratch here that wasn't here yesterday. Someone tried to pick this lock. I stared at the scratch and felt the floor disappear beneath me. I wanted to run away. I was so scared. Daniel stood up and cupped my face. I'm not going anywhere, okay? I'm right here. Tears welled in my eyes. I can't ask that of you, Daniel. I don't even